important, but they're not more important than men's rights. They're not more important than children's rights. And so we would want to see equality for all.
It really scared me, honestly, because I know, like, after this, I know what's coming next is, like, the whole birth control thing is going to go away.
Earlier today, in a monumental decision, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, ending nearly 50 years of protecting the right to legal abortions. Protests erupted outside the Supreme Court after the justices announced their ruling. Writing for the majority, Justice Samuel Alito said the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion. Chief Justice John Roberts joined the other 5 conservatives in upholding Mississippi's abortion ban, but he wrote he would have stopped short of overruling Roe outright. President Biden called the decision wrong and extreme. The court's 3 liberals agreed, writing they dissented with sorrow for, quote, the many millions of American women who have today lost a fundamental constitutional protection, end quote. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Cody Proctor. Let's get started. Now tonight, people across the country and right here locally in the Inland Northwest are reacting to today's news from both sides of the aisle. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk shares with us tonight how people here feel about the Supreme Court's decision.
This is a ruling some are celebrating and some have feared. We heard reactions from people in North Idaho and Spokane.
They say no choice, we say no choice!
The Supreme Court's ruling caused a ripple around the country and the Inland Northwest.
I was overjoyed. I think it's awesome. I think they did what they needed to do, and I think it's a really, really good decision.
It was just, like, shocking. I didn't think it was going to actually happen.
I've worked for pro-choice back in the 1970s and 1980s, so it's devastating to me.
Hundreds of pro-choice activists turned out for a protest outside the federal courthouse in downtown Spokane.
Abortion doesn't impact me personally because it's not something I will ever have to go through, but I support people who need to get it. It's a necessity. It's something that is like a fundamental right, and the government should not be in our medical offices. They shouldn't be in our bedrooms.
At the same time, miles across town,
you know, this is something that we've been praying for 50 years.
Members of On Fire Ministries and other churches held a worship service across the street from Planned Parenthood.
You know, the left claims my body, my choice, but it's not their body. It's the child's body. There's not a lot of roles that government is actually supposed to engage in, but this is one of them. Protecting life. It's a natural law that we all retain as people. It's a God-given right.
Planned Parenthood in Spokane says roughly 4 out of 10 patients they see are from Idaho. It's where Amanda Woldridge lives.
I was actually at work and I had a customer tell me, and it really scared me, honestly, because I know, like, after this, I know what's coming next is, like, the whole birth control thing is going to go away.
2 years ago, Idaho passed a trigger law regarding abortion. With today's Supreme Court decision, it was automatically triggered, meaning there's now a 30-day countdown in the state until abortion becomes a felony crime.
I know it doesn't necessarily mean abortions won't happen, but if it even cuts down on them, then I think it's an amazing thing.
In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Kyle, thank you so much. And reactions from every political sphere have been coming in all day. Here's what Washington Governor Jay Inslee had to say this morning.
We will resist with every ounce of our being any effort by Idaho to intrude in Washington state. We're not going to allow their law enforcement to come in our state. We're not going to violate a woman's right of privacy. We're not going to cooperate. We will have a shield of protection to the extent we possibly can over the women of Idaho. They deserve protection.
Reproductive freedoms.
Governor Inslee is joining the governors of California and Oregon to form a West Coast coalition with the goal to defend access to reproductive health care, including abortion and contraceptives, and committing to protect patients and doctors against efforts by other states to ban abortion in the West Coast states. Now, in the wake of this decision, protections, actions, and laws surrounding abortion will change drastically all across the country. Here's an idea of what to expect state by state. Right now, nearly half of all states are on track to outright ban or severely limit abortion access. Some states had laws or constitutional amendments already in place, which could be quickly used to ban abortion as a result of the decision. 13 states have trigger laws, which have been set to ban abortion immediately if Roe v. Wade was ever overturned. And a dozen states could ban abortion after 6 weeks, which abortion rights advocates argue is effectively a ban on the procedure, as most people are unaware they're pregnant until after that time. Abortion will remain legal in the remaining 27 states, though the laws in those states aren't uniform either. Now looking now at the breakdown of votes, 5 justices appointed by Republican presidents voted to overturn the abortion rights ruling. They are Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. In a surprise move, Chief Justice Roberts did not vote to overturn Roe v. Wade. He instead filed an opinion concurring with the judgment to uphold Mississippi's 15-week abortion ban. Justices appointed by Democratic presidents who voted to keep the ruling included Elena Kagan, Sonia Sotomayor, and Stephen Breyer. Meanwhile, tonight there's some concern about a concurring opinion to today's ruling from Justice Clarence Thomas. In the concurring opinion, Thomas calls for the reconsideration of rulings regarding contraception, same-sex activity, and same-sex marriage. Same-sex marriage was constitutionally allowed after the Supreme Court's Obergefell ruling that allowed the fundamental right to marry guaranteed to same-sex couples. The state of Washington's been holding legal same-sex marriage ceremonies since 2012. State Supreme Court Justice Mary Hughes performed hundreds of ceremonies a year since then. She shares the benefit marriage gives to people.
It means everything, and it meant everything. It really was a public recognition of relationships and their families. But you know, people get married not only because they love each other, but because there are real concrete benefits that marriage offers to people.
And coming up in our newscast, we're continuing our Roe v. Wade coverage and breaking down what this means for Idaho. In the meantime, let's make the switch now to weather because we saw another beautiful, clear day with warm temperatures. Meteorologist Michelle Bosch joining us now with more information. And Michelle, I understand it won't be the courts of Hoop Fest that are heating up this weekend.
Yeah, we're all just going to be heating up no matter where you are. Of course, lots of activities, outdoor activities to be thinking about this weekend. And temperatures are finally on the rise. It seems like we were just talking about our first 80s, and now we may be getting into the 90s by next week. But here's a look at your weekend forecast. 79 on Saturday. I want to point out that these are Jeremy Legou's words. So summer heat on Saturday was 79. I don't consider 79 too hot. Sweltering is what Jeremy says of Sunday. We're looking at sunny skies and a high of 86 degrees. Of course, we enjoyed ample blue skies and sunshine today, and that is not going to change for the weekend. Temperatures right now still pretty mild in Spokane, 67 in Spokane, but it's cooled down into the 50s in Deer Park and Sandpoint, now down to 60 in Coeur d'Alene, 50s across the Palouse, and 69 in Moses Lake. Here's a short-term forecast. Clear skies tonight, and you will be waking up to plenty of sunshine and temperatures in the 60s tomorrow morning.
Michelle, thank you so much. Moving on to Night Beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The mother in a Coeur d'Alene child abuse case will now spend up to a decade in prison. 26-year-old Haley Harris pleaded guilty in March to injury to a child for her role in what prosecutors called heinous abuse of her 7-week-old daughter, which is a felony. Today, Harris was sentenced to 10 years in prison, the maximum allowed for the crime. Her husband, Nicholas Branson, is scheduled to be sentenced in August. A Spokane City Council set to review the Trent homeless shelter lease agreement next Monday. According to the City Council, a lease has not been finalized by the administration, but under the proposed agreement, the monthly rent would cost close to $27,000, along with a 2.5% management fee. The facility will have an expected capacity of 150 to 250 people, but won't be large enough to meet the needs of the nearly 450 people at the nearby camp. And heads up, with thousands of people coming into town for Hoop Fest this weekend, there are quite a few road closures you need to know about. All of them are highlighted on a map. Now, most major downtown roads will be closed. They shut down at 6:30 tonight earlier this evening, and they'll last through 10 p.m. on Sunday. Hoop Fest attendees are encouraged to take STA buses or shuttles to get around over the weekend. STA is selling all-day transit passes for $2 on Saturday and Sunday. And that was a look at your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, text the word NIGHT to 509-448-2000. We'll send them right to your phone. And that was a look at KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you also get more news in less time. But don't go to bed just yet. After the break, we continue our coverage on today's Supreme Court ruling, how this impacts Idaho, when we come back in 90 seconds.